And welcome to another episode of Touching Turning the podcast. I'm your host, Sid Patrick, and tonight I do not have my beautiful sidekick. She is working, so Alicia won't be with us tonight. Tonight we will cover a lot about our trips. We're going to cover sensing and ghost hunts. What is the difference? And so we're going to talk a little bit about that tonight. I hope some of you can join me. So I'm going to wait a few minutes to see if some people will come join us in the room. And let me open up the scene. There you go. So while we're waiting for some people to join us, I'm going to bring up a few things. So one, if you haven't read a good story lately, or a true adventure actually, read Seance Experiments. This is a book by Kalila Smith and myself. This is about the journey of a mother's grief and how she found herself into mediumship. And we traveled around doing seances and different types of seances. And let me go onto TikTok here. And there we go. And went to different seances, and it's just our journey. And it talks a lot about the different styles of seances and the connections that we experienced and the different things that we experienced during seance. So it's a really cool journey. If you'd like to read it, you can get it on Amazon. Seance Experiments. So that's really cool. So once again, Seance Experiments with Kalila Smith and Sid Patrick. Couple of things. So this past weekend, I'm waiting for people to sign in. This past weekend, we had the grief group. We made some lucky candles, and I will teach you guys online how to make those. We did that, and I gave them some gifts for St. Patrick's Day, and then we talked a little bit about grief and luck and had a really great time together. And then I had a whole day of groups and sessions with people. And then Sunday, we did Sensing the Cemetery. And while we were doing that, it was really an amazing day. I really feel sorry for the people who couldn't make it. I know Saturday rained a lot, but Sunday was actually a pretty nice day to go out and sense the cemetery. It wasn't overly hot and it wasn't really cold. The weather was perfect, and we had a really great day going down there. So I am going to talk a little bit about that journey, but I'm waiting for some more people to log in so we can have some interaction and we can have some some talk. So please join us on YouTube. If you join me on YouTube, you can subscribe there. If you join me on TikTok, please tap the screen. If you join here on Facebook Live, please leave a comment, share with your friends. So stay every Wednesday at 8 p.m. We're on with Touching Eternity, the podcast. So I'm waiting for a few more people to log in, and we're going to talk a lot about what we did this weekend. It was really, really a fun weekend. Going down into the to sense the cemetery. It's all about history. It's not about ghost hunting. A lot of people kind of felt that this was going to be like a ghost hunting thing. There's a big difference between feeling and sensing history and going ghost hunting. I wouldn't go ghost hunting to a cemetery. Let's start with that. There aren't any ghosts at the cemetery. I'm not saying there aren't any kind of spirits at the cemetery, but they're just not ghosts at the cemetery. So, you might get a spirit or two at the cemetery, but you're not going to really get a lot of ghosts at a cemetery. You get ghosts more in like an area where there's hauntings. And now if there was some murders in that cemetery, you might get some energies or something like that. But in most cemeteries, it's mostly history you're going to sense, or an area that you're going to sense. So we're going to talk a little bit about that as we get a couple of visitors in the room, because it is our 8 p.m. Wednesday night. Got a couple people say hello, so I know that you're here. And we'll get started pretty shortly. It's just barely after 8 o'clock right now. It's only 8:01. I'm going to let a few people get online before I get into the main lecture tonight. And I might do some readings tonight as well. If we get the room up over 10, I'll do at least one. And that way we'll have some fun later on. So I'm here tonight by myself. My coworker had to work. She's out of town. Hoping she may join in though tonight, because she can join in. Cheers. And those of you who are in Metairie, if y'all going to the St. Patrick's Day parade this weekend, I'll be on float 16 of the August parade. Float 16, Sidewalk Side. My friend and I will be on number 7, number 8. Please say hello. Give us a shout. We got incredibly a lot of stuff to throw, so please join us. Oh, here we go. We got a few more people joining us. Please type in and say hello. Let me know that you're here because it's going to be a really cool talk tonight. We'll talk a lot about our journey this weekend and talk a little bit about the difference in, the difference in ghost hunting versus sensing, and what I would, why I would do a ghost hunt versus, and then why I would do sensing. So what is the difference? Why would we do one or the other? And so that's what I want to talk about, because we actually plan on a ghost hunting trip very soon as well. Hey, Susan, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So somebody finally said hello, so that's really good. So let's talk. We got 5 people in the room, so I'm ready to get rolling. Until we get to 10, I'll do a reading. So before we close tonight. So this weekend was phenomenal. But really, why everybody keeps seeing me post it and saying it, I'm not trying to make anybody mad because they couldn't make it. I was just floored because let me explain. We went to the St. Bernard Cemetery, the oldest Llano cemetery, which is one of the, hey Stephanie, it was one of the oldest cemeteries in Louisiana. And it's got all the family names that originated that came to New Orleans, some of the most original people that came to New Orleans. So if you've ever grew up in New Orleans and you watch television, or you've been shopping, or you even just been down some of the streets or some of the buildings, you will know these names, because these names are in this cemetery. And I didn't even realize it, but I had family names in that cemetery. I had no idea that I would have family in that cemetery, that I had relatives in that cemetery. So it was quite shocking, even for myself. And so the difference between sensing and ghost hunting is, like I said, you wouldn't really go to a cemetery to ghost hunt unless there was some kind of accident there, because the spirits, people's loved ones aren't in the cemetery. They are with the loved ones. They're in their homes. They're in their environment. They're not in a cemetery. Just their bones are there, not just their souls and their auras, their energies are everywhere with the living people. They're not there in the cemeteries. But there are some guardians. Like I think there are some like guardian energies in cemeteries, because I know some people that have had some issues with when they tried to like take stuff out of cemeteries. They've had some stuff. I know there's some kind of energies there that do stuff like that. And I do know that there's been some sightings at cemeteries, but it's usually because something happened at that cemetery. It's not because it's somebody buried at that cemetery. So I want to make that clear. But usually we go to cemeteries to sense history. So we go there and we just put our energy out there, and we just kind of sit there and meditate, and we become one with the history. We read the name. This cemetery, actually, I remember how I used to put the old pictures on the graves, and you can move the little metal piece, and there's the picture of the loved one that's in there. So you go there and you try to reconnect, and you try to let your mind take you back into that time frame, into that history, and you try to sense what happened and see what you get. And what's cool about that is when you sense that, then you can go into Google and see if you can research anything about that family by just sensing the names, sensing the picture, sensing. So there's a difference between, you can sense the land, you can sense things that have happened there. So that's kind of what's the difference. I like to go to cemeteries for the history, and there were some things that happened on this particular cemetery in the influenza outbreak in 1918 that killed millions of people, over 1 million people in America. There was a mass grave done at this particular cemetery. They used to bring the bodies up from the Gulf in pirogues, and there was a mass grave done at this cemetery back in 1918. And so the church that's across the street was founded in 1785. or 1789. It was 1785 or 1789. And the original cemetery was on the right side of the church. And then it got filled. It was filled because of all the epidemics. It was filled rather quick. So then they went across the street in the early 1800s. Beauregard's, the soldier from the Civil War, his parents, he's buried in Metairie Lawn, but his parents are buried in this cemetery. So that's how old this cemetery is. It was just a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful experience this weekend. Now, traveling down there, the church is called the Saint Bernard Church. That's down there. I'm way deep in Toka. It's past that pet cemetery. It's past that. This whole area has a plethora of history, and so it's phenomenal. And so in that area prior Katrina, I'm going to just give you like a little rundown. Oh, look, we hit 10. That means I got to do a read, and I love y'all. There were 2 nursing homes down there. And one nursing home was on, I think it's like Judge Perez, and the other one was on St. Bernard Highway. A good friend of mine's mother owned one of the nursing homes, and they evacuated everybody for Katrina. The other nursing home did not evacuate. And it was just because they felt that was going to be okay, and it wound up everybody in that first nursing home, everyone had drowned in that nursing home, and it was such a shock. It was such a shock that and it felt so bad for the families, but even more horrific was not just the horrificness for the families, but the first responders that had gone in to see if anybody made it. When they went in, these people were restrained in wheelchairs into the bed and drowned. Like they didn't even have a chance, because many of them were tied to the beds and tied to wheelchairs, and that's how they were found drowned. So now, because of that, there's many rules into having a hey Stephanie, into having a nursing home in that area. You can't anymore. You just can't have one anymore. So now it became a place where they would keep prisoners from Orleans there. But even the prisoners are don't like being there. They'd rather go back to the jailhouse, because they said there's a lot of stuff that's going on. They have a lot of activity there. So I think we're going to try to interview anybody. We're going to try to see if we can locate any of the prisoners that spent time there and interview some of those if they're willing to. And then the other nursing home where they did evacuate, we're trying to get permission, because I know who the owners are. And the daughter is a good friend of mine. And we're going to see if we can get permission to go in and do some ghost hunting. We're going to set up some equipment and see if we can pick up any of the energies, because it's been vacant since Katrina. And it still stands. So we're going to try to do an investigation there as well. And we're going to set some equipment up and see if we can pick up anything. But that whole area has a lot of paranormal history. When we had the psychic investigation class, and we took them to right outside the pet cemetery. We couldn't go in the pet cemetery because it's overgrown, but we took the students to the outside of the pet cemetery. We had sent one of my friend's sons to ask permission. They would let us go through the back to get into the pet cemetery. And he went to go ask the people. He saw a ghost of a man that they knew, because he knew the man, and he knew the young man who died, and he actually saw him walking into the house, and that freaked him out. And he came back and told us about it. So in that area, there's been a lot of death. There's been a lot of murder. there's been a lot of, um, especially around the Pet Cemetery, there's been a lot, and it's all in this little area, same area. There's been a lot of murder, a lot of mayhem. There was a duel between the two sheriffs a long time ago, and one of the sheriffs got killed on that property. And then there's been a couple of suicides. There's been several murders, all on this plantation that was back there where the Pet Cemetery was. And then you have the two nursing homes, and then you have this cemetery where they put all those people that died from influenza, the big mass grave, and you get all these old graves of all these famous New Orleans people. And I'll give you some of the names, like the Torreses, the Rendazes, the Jeanfros, the Serpazes, all these well-known New Orleans names, the Campos, the Acostas, the Levacaries, all these family names up into the Beauregards. I mean, all these very famous New Orleans names are back there from like the 18s, early 19s, all the way through today. There's still people being buried there today. So it was really, 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 really a wonderful time. We gave a little class on how to sense. We took people out there. We gave them things to write on so they could just write their experiences. And we didn't, it wasn't a test or anything. We just told them, go home, look up somebody's name that you felt comfortable with, and just, see if you had made any kind of connection with some of the things that happened there. And we did tell them to see if they could find the where the mass grave was. And we also on the property, they got four temporary called ovens, or four temporary graves. So if the water table's up high, they have some graves they will slide you in until the water table goes down, because some of the graves are in the ground. And after Katrina, one of the caskets from the cemetery actually went across the street, was inside the church. And so there are some pictures of that. So there's just a ton of history and things that have happened, in this cemetery. And like I said, we had a wonderful time. I will go back there again. Of course, what I can tell you, I won't go there without my friend, because one thing about that area is if they don't know you, they're sending the police. So they're very cautious about who they allow in their neighborhood back there. So we had a really great time, and I wish that more people would have came. Like I said, it was a free event. I always find when I do free events that fewer people come when it's free than when they pay. I don't know why that is. I'm just charging people $1 for things. But anyway, just to make sure they come. But it was truly a great time. And like I said, the history alone, just walking through the cemetery and seeing the dates. I think the earliest date we saw was like 1758. I think 1755, something like that, 54, something like that was like the earliest date we saw. Now there was some that was so old you couldn't see this was the St. Bernard Cemetery down in down in Toka. So it was way down deep towards Braithwaite. And like I said, just driving there, the history, just the history, going down all the way, it was just phenomenal. Like you have the Civil War where it took place. Well, that's the Battle of New Orleans where it took place. You had going down, you have the Oaks, and then you have the stories with the two nursing homes and the Katrina, and you have the port of St. Bernard there, and then they have the Pet Cemetery, and then right past the Pet Cemetery you have this church and this cemetery. Now the roads don't connect because they got the Dead Man's Curve where all these people get killed on these curves, so they cut the roads off, so you got to go off the road, go back, and then go around and come back in. So it's just, they have two Dead Man curves, so it was so dangerous that they actually took the curbs out, and so they're dead ends, and then you got to go off and then go around and come back in, because the people have died making those curves, so they've taken them out. So it's just, like I said, it was truly amazing. And I just wanted to stress tonight I just really wanted to stress, let me fix this computer over here. I really wanted to stress tonight about how much fun that was. And if we're going to probably do it again, I just don't know when. But if we do, please come try to join us, because it was really, really a lot of fun. And everybody had a really great time. And we all went to eat some good food afterwards. At what was a guy who from down that area owns 3 restaurants, and so they really served some really good food for us, and it was a great time. Like I said, Sunday was a really fun day. Of course, then I had to come home and do some more readings. I stayed booked all weekend. I have not been online a lot during the week because I've picked up a special project, so you won't see me much except on Wednesdays at 8 o'clock. I will be here every Wednesday at 8. If I can get on during the week, I will, but for this month, it won't be too often because I've picked up a special project to do. So, but I will be on my Wednesday night, and but the other nights I don't know if I'll be on as much as I was. It just depends. Some nights, if I can, I will. But I picked up a special project, but I will be on every Wednesday night. So we got through those 2. Next week, when I meet with you guys, I am going to do symbology. So I'm going to show you that a little bit, just so y'all can see what it's about. So we're going to have that card set up again, and I'll be teaching you guys about symbology. This is a symbology deck. It's just a bunch of symbols. It's a card. It's just a deck full of symbols and colors. You'll see. Let's see. I just saw some colors this way. There your colors. They're yellow. And I saw some purple back there. Anyway, blue. Anyway, so these are symbology. I use those when I work with my mediums, and it's to help them with their clairvoyance, and it's to help them with developing a language with the symbols that they see. So we're going to work with that a lot next week. And I'm only going to do one. I'm not doing a whole series on it. I'm just doing one session with it. And I'm going to teach you also how you can use that to read. Because a lot of people use my symbology deck to read. And I already have a video on YouTube about symbology, but I'm going to do a bigger video, like a whole hour of just talking about the symbology deck and showing you different things that you can work with symbology. And you can create your own deck. You really can. And please, those of you who have been following us here, and the tarot, the whole story, is all finished, and it is all posted on YouTube. So if you want to learn how to read tarot, the whole story is posted on YouTube. It's in a section by itself, and all the fluff is taken out. It's just the video about learning tarot, and it's 7 videos. So it's long, but it covers everything. So I'm putting that out there. Tina said, Plaquemines Parish, West Bank has an interesting cemetery with some. Yeah, yes, Tina, it does. Yes, that's what I've heard about that one too. But according to what I've heard, this is probably, I think, one of the oldest. And this one is actually walkable, and they're actually still selling plots in it, actually. I do know the Archdiocese has talked about closing the church, but the people are trying to keep it open. So I actually volunteered to do what I could to see if I had something I could do to donate to keep the church open. And so we'll see. I ran something by the people who let me in to go see the cemetery, and if they're going to talk to the church, and I've volunteered to do something to try to help keep it open. So we'll see if they want. I don't mind. I don't ever mind trying to give back to the community. That's what we should be doing. Anyway, but I hope so. So anyway, but the tarot class is online. Please go check it out if you're interested in reading tarot. I will be having soon, in a few weeks, probably in April, I will have an intuitive tarot course. You can sign up for online or in person. And then sometime in summer or towards the end of the summer, I'm going to be teaching a master class in tarot that you can take online or in person. But I'm telling you, you probably need to, before you take that class, we're going to be doing some practice sessions and stuff. So I'll be doing some of those as well. Some practice sessions online with everybody for free because I would like y'all to practice your reading. So get in there and learn. During the week, I will be doing some practice sessions, not on Wednesdays, but if you see me on at 8 o'clock, join. If I have the cards out, we'll do some practice sessions online for people to read. And what I'll do is I'll lay out some cards and have you guys write down what you think, what you would say to somebody if you see those cards. So we'll do some practice sessions and stuff. Or I'll have you pick somebody to read with those cards. Because every time you lay out cards, the same cards will be different for each. You can lay the same cards out, but it'll be a different reading for a different person, even though it's the same cards. Because everything's a blend. So anyway, that's all coming up. And don't forget, those of you who live down in the Chalmette area or can travel to Chalmette, March 29th, Saturday at 2 p.m. is Nacho Dead People. Trini and I will be there at 2 p.m. at Agave Restaurant. Come join us. So anyway, so back to this. So history is phenomenal. There's a great show, and one day I'm going to have her on this podcast. Her name is Jennifer Brazia. She's a good friend of mine. She is in a TV show called Past But Present. You can get it on, I think, Amazon, or it's on Tubi right now. And it's a wonderful show. But what she does, she's a medium, and they take her to, she gets blindfolded. She never knows where she's going. And they take her to different locations, and she senses the area. She basically goes in and she senses the area. She just walks the area and she feels and senses the history. She can tell you things that may have been there, or things that have happened there, or the people. She'll start seeing people. Things will start coming together in her mind, and she'll start sensing things, and she has no idea where she's at. And so it's called Past But Present. And so it's a really good show. She's phenomenal. She did one here in New Orleans. Actually, I'm in that episode 5, I think it is. I took her to a plantation that a friend of mine has in not Destrehan, I think Destrehan, in Raceland. And somebody just walked in my head. Anyway, in Raceland. And she did really well. Like she got the whole story. She was able to pinpoint some things, and then she went to another. And of course, she went across the lake and did some stuff over there. But it's a really good show. But that's what sensing is. It's when you able to walk on land, or walk through a house, or walk through something and talk about who, what, when, where has gone on, has been there, and it's validatable. That's sensing. Ghost hunting, on the other hand, is different. Ghost hunting is when you actually walk in and you feel you're trying to find you're picking up the energy. You're making contact with energy that is present in the house right at that moment, right at that time. Sensing is when you're picking up the essence of something that has been there. So there is a difference. There's a little bit of a difference there. So I just need you to understand that. And that's what I kind of wanted to explain to you guys tonight. I love doing the history stuff. Like, I went to a little town, Jefferson, Texas, a while back. And I think I showed y'all that in a video on one of the episodes that we did on the podcast. And I'll never forget, we were walking through the town. We were doing the ghost tour. And we were walking, and the lady says to everybody, y'all know what happened here? And everybody goes, well, he's a medium. And they point at me, and I'm like, do not rat me. I'm here trying to have fun. And they said, what do you think happened? I said, well, there was a man here, and he committed murder. He murdered his wife here. And she says, that's right. And she goes, how did you know that? I said, well, I'm not talking to no dead people. I said, I sense the energy of murder here. What do you like? You're a medium. I said, well, no, mediums can do that too. I had to explain that mediums can sense. We can sense. Just because we sense something doesn't mean that we're necessarily talking to a dead person. We can also sense an air or an energy that has an act that has taken place. When I'll never forget, I was with a very a medium from Arthur Findlay, who now lives in Australia, Miss Christine Morgan, and we were in a restaurant in the French Quarter, and she had never been here before, and I was signing a contract to go do a show there, and while she was sitting there, while I was doing the contract, she goes, "This was a government building at one time, wasn't it?" The owner looked over it and said, "Yes, it was." And she said, "There was somebody here named Guzman, and they were responsible for the trash, the garbage pickup or something. It's something about a stamp being done in." And he said, "Yeah, yes, this." So Guzman was like a government figure here back in like the late 1800s or early 19. I don't remember the exact day, but he was the one that was responsible in our city for initiating garbage pickup. And so she actually called out the name. She called out what he was there for, and that she had never been. She was from Australia. She had never been here. But that's sensing. Like, she wasn't talking to ghosts. She was sensing the building. She was able to pick up the vibration and the energy in the building. That's sensing. That's using your senses to feel history. Using your senses to feel history. And so that's kind of what we were showing people a little bit on how to do. And you can ask, and people can use their pendulums. You can ask questions to your higher self that can help you with history a little bit. You can also use your dowsing rods a little bit to ask questions about history, if that happened here. But I like to just go and see what I feel and just use what I got coming on. So while I'm sitting here, I'm aware of, because this isn't going away, I'm aware of a female that's with me right now. So there's a woman here that's watching this. And I have a feeling that, I have a feeling that her father passed. And her father passed rather quickly. And her mother would have still been alive when her father passed. And her father would have passed very quickly and suddenly. So what else you gonna I also believe that they thought that he might have been sick, but they didn't think he was going to pass. Do you understand that, Zeta? Okay, so okay, both y'all can take it. Do y'all both understand? I will. I'm gonna give you some more, but both y'all, because my understanding is that as I'm connecting to, so I'm mainly connected to the mother. So let me ask you this question, Zeta. I know your mom has passed. Susan, is your mother still alive, or she passed? I'm gonna try to split you two. Susan, is your mother passed, or is she alive? It takes a while for them to answer. Okay, Susan, I think I'm with you. Zeta, I do not think I'm with you because I believe the mom is still alive. The person I'm talking to. I know Zeta, I know your mom's passed. just because when I'm talking and the picture that I'm seeing, the mama is lit up. And usually for me, when the female that's consoling the child is lit up, that usually means they're alive. So Susan, I think I'm with you, baby. So let me see what else I got here. Um, would you be coming up to an anniversary, Susan, would you be coming up to an anniversary of either the birth or passing of your father, because he keeps saying that there's a religious resemblance with him. Do you understand that when I say that? I know there's a delay. Because when I shut my eyes, he just makes me aware there's a he keeps showing me this cross. I don't know if he wore it, but he makes me there's something religious connected to the cross. So I'm wondering if he's talking about, I know we coming upon Easter, I know we coming upon a holiday, so he's making me aware of this. Do you understand that? No, mother's birthday's March. No, 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 no. I got a sign for birthday, baby. He would have gave me that. No, I can't take that. Okay. No, Southern Baptist. No, okay, no, that's fine. I understand Southern Baptist. He's not Catholic, because Catholic there's a certain way. He's not Catholic, that I know. Because I have a certain cross for Catholic. He's not Catholic, that I know. But it's something about the cross he just showed me. I just want to see there's something more significant about it other than just his religion. All right, now because he kept showing it to me. Now also, do you understand the issues with his feet? Okay, his birthday's in April. Now that makes more sense to me, because April was important. Because something about Easter and him, and then the cross but no Jesus on it. That I'll take. All right. Now, do you also understand something about his? Do you also? Don't tell me too much. Don't tell, don't feed me too much. All right. Now, do you also understand what was going on with his feet? He's bringing me down to his feet. Yes, you understand his feet. Like, were they swelling? Because he's taking me down to his feet. All right. So I don't know what's going on now, but he talks about his feet. And now also, did you miss a dental appointment? Wow, that's crazy. He went from his feet to the other end. Did you miss a dental appointment? He literally went from his feet and showed me a toothbrush. So I'm like, so. But he took the toothbrush away from him and passed it. So I'm like, he's thinking like you missed the appointment for the dentist. But anyway, that's crazy. And what year was that? What is does the year 1969 mean something to you, Susan? 69. What year was that? Hold on. No, I don't want to Google it. No, you need an appointment. Okay. What do you, does the year 1969 mean anything to you? I think that was the year. He just showed me something. 65 or 69? I think it was 69. Just gave me a memory of something. Anyway, all right. Now, also, you have a cop in your family? Z, do you have a cop in your family? Okay, see, I could be piggybacking. Your dad was a cop. Okay. Y'all dad's a piggybacking then. All right. Y'all dad's a piggybacking. It's a piggyback. Okay. Okay. And Susan, while I got you here too, Did also do Susan? Do you have someone that committed suicide? Do you have a female that committed suicide? I need you to type that again, Susan. Do you have a friend that committed suicide? Female. You can type no or yes. Again, no. Okay. So so they showed me a gun in two forms. One is one form they showed me was for cop, and then one was like a suicide. Zeta, do you have a friend that committed suicide? Because the cop that they showed me the cop gun, then I saw suicide. Did your dad have a friend that committed suicide or was killed? Because they gave me two signs with the gun, my cop gun. I know your dad had a gun, but did he have a friend that did he have a friend that got that either killed him herself or himself, or did somebody else get shot? Because he showed me the gun in two positions. So I'm thinking it's somebody else. No, Tina in a minute. I gotta figure what this was first because it was with the gun that Zeta's dad showed me to say he was a cop that he moved it. Oh, he was shot. Okay, then that's why. Okay, because he took the gun and he moved it. So got it. Okay, he was shot in the shootout. Okay, thank you. Got it. Because I'm like, he took my gun. Then it's like, okay, now I got shot with it. So I'm like, what does that mean? Okay, that's what that meant. Okay, thank you. And it's hard because with the delay, it's hard to. He was at a shootout. Thank you, Zeta. Now that makes sense. Okay, because it got to make sense to me. Now, which one of you ladies, Zeta or Susan, wore bell bottoms when y'all were younger? who who wore the bell bottoms? I both put yes. I'm gonna start laughing. He just showed me a picture of one of y'all, and so he showed me some bell bottom jeans. Who wore that? Was that Zeta? Was that you wearing bell bottoms, or Susan? Was that you wearing bell bottoms? Hey, Gwen. Zeta, you never wear bell bottoms? Susan wore bell bottoms. Your dad was showing me a picture of you in bell bottoms, Susan. I just saw the cheese and it went, and I was like, yes, indeed. Things they put in my head are just amazing. They amaze me. Now, who's born in August? Susan. Azita, is that you? Your dad's a piggybacking. Who's got the August birthday? Or what is the month of August? Because they showed me or the eighth day because they wrote a big eight, humongous eight. Not you. Somebody's got an August birthday. They just wrote a big eight. Your sister's August. Okay, somebody because then it's your dad acknowledging your sister then, Susan, because that's just like a big, big, gigantic eight. Okay. Give me that better. All right, which one? Now this is I might get to know which one of you has memories of riding on your father's back. Tina, the gun was related to a cop. So it was a cop. The cop took the gun and put it down. And so again, I will try to see if I can connect to that in a minute. But I got to get these two guys out of my head first. You do? Okay. Because I just saw like you can get on all fours and I see people riding on this guy's back. And also, Zeta, you're putting new window coverings in your house. Why? They just show me you hanging up new window coverings in your house. But anyway, that's wild. Anyway, okay. All right. Hey, Alicia. Hi, my love. I love her. All right. So Tina. So you have a cousin that shot us. So let me see what else I could. Is she just? I'm gonna see if I'm connected. Is that dad's side or mom's? Is that dad's side? Let's see. Somebody popped up on dad's side. Is that dad's side or if that's your mom's side? Let's see if I got her. You're welcome. Okay, so I do have her because I just saw when I asked which side they popped up on your dad's side. And what is it? What is it about the fourth or the four? Does she have four siblings? Did this happen on the fourth? What do you understand about the fourth or the four? There are three other siblings. Is she one of four? What is the four about? Or did she try four times? What is it? There's something significant about the four. She had four siblings. Okay. So, all right. Is somebody named William or Bill, William or Billy, or who's that? Willie, William, Billy. What's that about in this family? No. All right, I'm gonna go way on a long shot. I'm gonna probably get into there. There's nobody named Warner, right? Like last name, or I don't think it's a first name. Warner, like Warner, Warner. Warren. Zeta, who's Warren? Am I hitting you again, Zeta? So who's Warren, Tina? Or Warner? Who's Warner or Warren? Because that's the name that keeps popping up. All right. Who? Okay, Bernard Warner. Who is that? God damn. Sure is. It's for you, Tina. It's the Zeta. That's not you. It's for her. Because they showed me the initials. Those initials is what they showed me, and then they spelled out the Warner. Okay, so go ahead. So Tina, who is that to you? Or so I got to figure out why they showed me that. Yes, it's Wednesday for my TikTok group. Tap tap tap. Hi TikTok group. I can't. I'm doing readings, so I can't really see you too well. I say, okay. Hey, Crystal. Hey, Kayla. Kayla, I don't know. I can only get who I'm getting, baby. I don't. This is, it's hard. It's not. This is not all that easy online. It's because I can't see anybody, and everything's on delay. Okay, it's your brother's friend who passed very fast. Well, Tina, know that he said hello. Let your brother know that he said hello because he did show up in big, like literally plowed his name up. Do you know what the chances of that is? That he came out. If I so I'm gonna tell you. Let me tell you how this guy came to me. How this guy Warren came to me. Okay, he took the Warner Brothers sign and he flipped it and he spelled Warren out. And I'm like, Warren Brothers? Who's Warren? Who's Warren? Who's the W? Who's BW? He flipped it, and so I'm like, it's in my head. I'm like, what? They do some crazy. They put crazy shit in your head, and I'm like, wow, 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 wow. That was crazy. That's crazy, 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 crazy. Wow, wow. So there's my Taylor. Hey, girl. How's Colorado doing? I miss you, love. I really wish you could make it to TE this year. Who knows? Something might change. You might get lucky. Ugh. Anyway, it was like a brother to you. Well, let your brother know that he did come by to say hello. Oh, guys. All right. If I let me unwind a bit because I just read what 3, 4 people. So gotta. And I only got 13. I was only supposed to do one. I go by how many people I got in my room, how many I read. I was only supposed to read one. And then when I get 20, I hit two. I don't know what I'm doing, like 3 or 4. But they just started coming. If I get somebody, I'm gonna read. If somebody pops in and gives me more than just a little, somebody died on Easter. Who died? Did somebody in this room have somebody that died on Easter? Thank you, Stephanie. Because reading online is different than reading people in person. Because I have not, I can't even see you. I only have your names to look at, and this who's coming to me because we're communicating by the internet. But I know it can be done because I watch people do it all the time. Your your grandmother died on Easter. Well, then Susan, know that she's here too because she says I died on. I have this woman that says I died on Easter. She shows me a little Easter bunny. And actually, she shows me two Easter bunnies. I see one chocolate and one peeps. One looks like a peep and one looks like a chocolate. I only see in color. It's gone by size. I see in black, white, and contrast. That's also why it's sometimes it's hard for me to make out the pictures because it takes me a minute. Now, what was that about? So, also, did did your grandmother used to either journal or write letters? Do you understand that, Susan? She's making writing a big issue. She showed me pen to paper. Okay, but did she also write? Like, did she write like cards or letters a lot? Like, some grandparents get they like to like write those like they get a card and they like to jot all in it and stuff and or they she likes to put pen. She showed me pen to paper. I'm trying to figure out what she's trying to do with that. All right, Susan, who made wine in your family? Is she your grandmother on your mother's side? Okay. Is she your grandmother on your mother's side? There's the reason I'm asking that. I don't know if she is. I just saw the grandmother. Who made wine in your family? Somebody made wine. And I'm gonna tell you why I'm saying that in a moment. Yes, your mother made wine. Your mother's still living. Somebody deceased taught her if your mother's still living because this person died that made wine. They show me grapes and they show me them liquefying grapes. So like they gotta be making wine. It's on your mother's side. So if your mother is still alive, wait, if your mother's still alive, then somebody taught her in the family because they just took on your mom's side, they just took grapes and they liquefied, which is my sign for making wine. Somebody made wine for sure. Good morning, Jill. Oh, good evening, Jill. Look at me. Good morning. My poor eyes are so bad. Let's see. Jill just joined me on TikTok. Tap that screen, y'all, if y'all on TikTok. Give me some hearts. Give me some hearts. You don't have to buy me anything, but just give me some taps. Give me some hearts. All my lives. It keeps me in TikTok live. Keep me in TikTok live. Anyway, So that was really cool the way she did that for me. See, your people are all over me tonight, Susan. So that's good. And Zeta and Tina. So yeah, your people. That's very cool. Very cool. Very cool. So again, reading online is different than reading people in person. I have to strictly go by what goes into my head. I have no idea who I'm reading, and somebody named Charlie's on the other side too for one of y'all because I just saw my symbol for Charlie. So there's a Charlie over here. Who has the Charlie on mother's side of the family? Oh, it's definitely a Charlie. Who has the person named Charlie on the mother's side of the family? Oh, I know there's somebody out there with that one. Pretty sure on that. Your dad was. Oh, there. Okay, your dad was Charlie. Wonder why he popped up on the female side then. That's weird. How do I know it's Facebook people, not TikTok? So whenever y'all name pops up over here onto my left, that's where Facebook and YouTube come up. Over here on a separate screen, I have Magni's TikTok popping. So I see TikTok over here on this screen, and I see Facebook and um, YouTube on this screen. It's like Susan's on, looks like she's on YouTube. Stephanie, you're on Facebook. And Jill and Taylor is on TikTok. Oh, the spirits. Oh, I don't know. I only know by who I'm getting in my head. And so I now only know by the responses that I receive. So every time I give a response, I got to look and see where the screen moves. So, so Zeta, your dad was Charlie. So Zeta, your dad just called you his angel, honey. So what he showed me, and that's why I wanted to share that with you. That's why I said there's a Charlie out here. He showed me the symbol for Charlie's angels. So he's telling me to say you're Charlie's angel. So he's calling you an angel, honey. Well, you are an angel. I know that, but that's how he. So you know the little thing with the three girls. That's my sign for the name Charlie. But when it comes to a dad, it's or someone of that, it means you're Charlie's angel. So it was your dad calling you his angel, honey. That's his message to you, love. So that's sweet. That's sweet. I love it. I love the spirit world. The spirit world just amazes me. The things they can do, even even through social media. Good lord. So it just amazes me, you know. So to this day, the things we take for granted. People take for granted the little things because our lives are so busy and so full of junk that we just don't stop long enough to see the little things that are so beautiful in life. And I tell people all the time, that you have to just to stop every now and then and smell the coffee and smell the roses and smell the trees and smell the air and just enjoy life and find your happiness, find your joy, because that's all you're going to take with you. That's it. The only thing that crosses over, which is love and memories. That's it. So go make some happy ones. Stop allowing the world to make you depressed. Stop allowing the world to make you anxious. Get away from fear and anxiety and negativity. Stop buying into all the stop buying into all the bullshit that the world's trying to feed you. Just go have fun. That's all you're supposed to do is have fun. Enjoy the job that you do. If you don't enjoy it, you need to find something else. You know, try to find what makes you happy in this world. And I would let people know I was getting ready to retire, and then I found a new purpose. And it's a lot harder work, but I don't mind working hard as long as it's something I'm happy at doing. You know, I left work today and came home and did more work. And then I came home. Came when I finished that work, I did even more work. And now I finished that work, and now I'm online with you guys having fun. The things I enjoy doing. Find your joy. There's a guy on TikTok. He's a teacher here in New Orleans, and he is a and he is a drama teacher for kindergarten students. And that's his famous line, find your joy. And I think it's a beautiful line. It's what he always tells his children, find your joy. Whatever makes you happy. And I think that's how life should be. Find your joy. Whatever's going to make you happy, that's what you need to be doing. As long as it's not hurting anybody else, go do it. Go do it. You know? See, he says, I love your expression of your face when the ones on the other side said you so many. Because Tina, I can't even say some of the things they send me on a live. Like they send me some crazy stuff. Like crazy stuff. Some of it sometimes it's not appropriate. Like I can't, like, it shocks me, but it makes me say things. And so they know that my brain isn't appropriate, so they'll show me things to make me say things. Sometimes it's just my favorite story, and I think I've shared this on here before, but one of my favorite stories, Trini and I went to a gallery at my store, and we were reading this woman in her, like, she had to be in her early 80s, and she lost her husband, and Trini was reading for her and talking about her husband, and so I'm tapping into Trini to tap into her, and so I'm tapping in energetically, and as I tap in, like this woman's like, you know, crying, and she's like in love with her husband. All of a sudden, this man shows me his private area. That's my symbol, but it's somebody is that the person is a narcissist, you know. And so I'm like, okay, how am I gonna? And they see me, they see the look on my face, like, oh my God, how am I gonna tell this woman that her husband's a narcissist, and she's sitting here crying and all in love, and I gotta tell, you know. And Trini looks at me and says, Sid, say it. She goes, I know you got to say it. Just say it. I said, Trini, I can't. I'm whispering to her. I said, I can't say it. I can't. She goes, say it. I said, do you understand narcissist? And she goes, oh, that's his name. And I went, oh, shit. Thank you. Thank you, God. Thank you. Thank you. The man's name was Narcissist, and that's how the spirit got me to say it. Poop, so she could get a validation. Got me to say the word narcissist. That was his name. That was her husband's name. That was the best validation she had all night. You can't make it up. They will show you the most bizarre stuff to get you to say something, and it's crazy. That's probably the one, and there's been others, but that's probably the only story I can legally tell on social media, not get booted. But that is a true story, you know. And there are miracles that happen every day, and I tell people, look for the miracles. They happen around you every day, and they blend in so well with life that you don't even recognize them. Like, I'll be walking and things will just fall out of nowhere, plump, and hit the ground. And I've had it witnessed, so it's not like I'm not making that up. I've had it witnessed by people around me. And it isn't just me, it happens to other people. We'll be in readings and things will just fly across the room or fall off a table, or lights will flash, and just like at weird times you'll hear boom on a wall or on a dresser, or just crazy stuff. And you're like, okay, where did that come from? Most people would just ignore it, you know, but you know, it's all a form of communication. And once you start understanding what it is and not being afraid of it, it happens more and more and more. So I tell people, open up to it and accept it, and your loved ones will talk to you all the time. My people talk to me every day. I go to sleep at night in my house. There are people walking in my house when I sleep at night. I couldn't tell you if it's a robber, but I'm not scared of it. If it's a robber, it's a robber. Rob me. If it's a, you know, I don't care at this point. There ain't nothing in my house that I want. That's the thing. It's not, you know, I'd give it to take it. You know, I don't keep anything of value here. You know what I mean? So it's like at that point, it means that much to you. You know, go ahead. You know, it's like I'm not gonna give up my life over it. Take it. You know, it's like, so I tell people, it's like, you know, don't stop fearing everything. you know? I mean, I lay in bed at night, I hear people walking in my house, doors open and closing, a cabinet closing, things falling off the shelves, and because I got ghosts in my house. I do. I do. They talk. You can hear people talking, having conversations while I just live with it, and there are a lot of small ones. They'll start lightly with just raps and taps, but once they know that you recognize them, they get to become more. As long as they know they're not there to scare you. As long as they know they're not scaring you, they'll start cutting up. Like they know they don't scare me. I do sleep with the door locked occasionally. Just, and I don't know why. Not because of the dead people. I think it's just because if somebody is going to rob me, I couldn't tell if they were robbing me or if it was a ghost. So I locked it in case it is somebody rob me, just so I wake up before they come into the room. But so, well, things like that happen. Alicia. I mean, I've seen things like so many times. I've just seen things fall out of nowhere. But I can tell you guys, and I'm going to stress this to you only because I love you. Because a lot of my spiritual people, y'all love to pick shit up off the ground, okay? Stop picking up the feathers. Leave the feathers on the ground. Bird flu's going around, okay? Leave the feathers alone. Take a picture with your phone from a distance. Stop picking the feathers off the ground, okay? I don't want y'all catching anything. I love y'all. Do not pick up feathers anymore. Let them on the ground. Okay? It's not funny, but it's true. I got all these people that want to pick up feathers. Stop. That's why the price of eggs is so high. Okay? Stop picking up feathers. Stop. God, I have to remind my friends. They say, "Ben, stop. Don't touch it. Don't touch it." Stop picking up the feathers. Take a picture of it. Don't pick it up. I don't care if you think it's from your grandpa or your mama or your, whoever. Take a picture of it. Tell them send you some dollar bills or a butterfly. Tell them stop sending the feathers. Yes, coins are a go. And tell them send some money. Tell them send the coins. Because we can't pick up feathers right now. It costs. Oh, we go send coins to buy the eggs. Send coins. Anyway. So, a couple more things I'm going to do before I sign out for the night. Because, guys, I really love you guys. I had a great time with you tonight. And I did some readings for you guys. So, anyway, don't forget, March 29th, 2 p.m. at Agave. Nacho Dead People. Those are always a fun event. If you want to hear a little bit about my journeys going to live seances where you will learn about some of those supernatural experiences that we had. Well, to me, they're very natural. They're not supernatural. You can learn about some of them in the book Seance Experiments by Kalila Smith and Sid Patrick. Also, if you want to learn how to do tarot, please follow my YouTube, and on there is posted Tarot with Sid, the whole story. It is how to read the tarot. It talks about each card. It gets into the colors, the numerology, the symbols. It covers all the meanings. Once you learn it, I'm going to have an intuitive class and then an advanced class. Also, when you take the advanced class, you will get a copy of this book, which is what that whole, all the videos are about, called Tarot with Sid, the whole story. You'll get the download for it, which is just the book from the videos. Next week when we meet, I don't know if Alicia's going to be working or not. If she's not working, she'll be here. If she is working, she won't. But we're going to go over symbology, and we're going to be going over... It's 78 cards, it's symbols, and what do they mean? When you get those in your head, we're going to teach you how to use them. And there's the butterfly right there, speaking of symbols, and rainbow, glasses. And I'm going to teach you how I use these with my mediums to teach them mediumship. But we always have fun hours. So every Wednesday at 8 o'clock, we're on. And we're on all 3 stations. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, and we're on TikTok. And if you ever miss a week and you want to just catch up, everything is saved on YouTube. Please subscribe to YouTube. Please always tap on TikTok. And please, the more friends you invite on Wednesday night, the more readings I do. I'm even going to start doing some more tarot readings as well, like we did when I was teaching people how to read tarot. But I want you guys, what we're going to do is, I want you guys, when I do that, is to practice as well. Y'all going to be reading me. I'm going to lay out the cards and have y'all read me. And then see what y'all get. What do y'all think it means? And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. So I can get y'all in the habit of reading for those that want to take any of the upcoming classes. Okay? So that's going to be a lot of fun. And again, if you want to learn, those are saved on YouTube. The classes, all 7 videos are on YouTube, and we've taken all the other pieces of the podcast out so it's just the class part. So we took out the before and after talk. It's just the class part. So it's shorter, but it's just the part about about the cards. So we shortened it so it'd be easier for you guys to listen to. All right. Oh, I just got a congratulations. Well, thank you guys. I've reached 100 messages from you guys today. Thank you. Thank you. So that is absolutely wonderful. So any questions for me about ghost hunting, about sensing, or about what does it mean to sense? Any questions for me about tarot or reading tarot, or anything about seances or physical mediumship versus mental mediumship? That's what I'm here for, to help you understand all these things. So how do I, so first, Kayla, you must understand that your mind is a spirit. So your higher self is your spirit. So when you're getting, you have to trust it, number one. So when you're getting something, it always is going to be, and usually for most people, it is in your voice. Okay, so you just have to trust it and go with it. And so what happens over time, when you'll start to be able to differentiate, like when you go with what you naturally get versus what you put you. So when the best way to explain it is, if you just give what you naturally get, you're going to be right. Spirit is never wrong. When you find yourself adding stuff to it, that's when you're going to be wrong, because then you're putting you in it. But if you just give what you naturally get, if you truly just use your senses, and that's what we mean by sensing. Like every time I shut my eyes, there is a picture that forms in my head. If I truly use that picture and I don't recreate something and make it something that it's not, and I just really use the picture, what it means to me, then I'm going to be right. The spirit's going to be right. I'm not making it what it's not. Like right now, I know that I've got a woman here who has died and has been to Hawaii because she's got a lei around her neck. I'm not doing another reading, but I already know that there's somebody out here that has a dead person that has been to Hawaii. I know that for a fact because spirit doesn't lie. So that makes sense to you? And I know it's a female because it fell on my female side, which is this side of me, my heart, my right side, your left side. So if whoever I'm reading, it's their left, my right. So I know that's the female side. So I know that it's a female. She's got a lei of ring of flowers around her neck. So I know that this dead woman that just popped into my head has been to Hawaii. It's that easy. I'm not going to question it more than that. I'm going to see what else she gives me. I'll shut my eyes again and see what else she throws up in there. I also know she was married. I also know that she was married to only one man. I know that too, because she just showed me a wedding dress. She put it on the male side and she said only. She did like that. So I can see, so you learn after time to build that, and that's, you do not question the spirit. You give exactly what they give you. I didn't add a whole lot to it. My people know how to talk, and I've been doing this so many years, I've learned how to talk with them. I've learned a language with them. And then when can we go to the Bay St. Louis Cemetery? Well, I'll have to go check it out and get some history on it, and then we can go. Okay. If I find it easy to connect with the living energy, but I can't pick up the dead energy. Well, Julie, guess what? There's no difference. Energy is energy. Living energy is the same as dead energy. It's all energy. So it's just a matter of space. So what I would recommend you to do is sitting in the power, which means that it's like a meditation, but you don't meditate like you don't, when you're sitting in the power, you don't bring the forces in, you push the forces out. So you think from the root up through the crown, and you want to, as you sit in silence, you want to feel all the energy around you in silence, and just let all your senses be exposed out. And so, like sound, you want to hear from the furthest sound you can hear. Sight, you want to let any light come into your head that you can, and see if it forms any pictures. You know, that's feel. You want to put your feel out as far as you can. See your feeling going way out in front of you. You smell. You want to smell out as far as you can. You want your senses to be out. You can practice on that. I like to practice and go to the buffet and smell and taste. Those are wonderful ways to practice with your senses. So just know that, so that's the way to do that. Because dead energy is not really dead. So you see, when you die, you don't understand this. When you die, you don't, only thing that dies is your physical shell. Your energy does not die. It stays the same. Your consciousness is an energy. It's the same as it was. The physical shell goes. The physicality goes, but the energy stays. Because Einstein says energy doesn't die. Remember? It just changes from potential to kinetic. So energy is created, and it never dies. Do I ever get drained from it? Not so much drained as I get loopy. So like, it depends. Like, I can read tarot all day long, but man, after 4 hours of mediumship, I don't know where I'm at. Like, I get a little bit of Alzheimer's. I got to ground, because you're so far in your right brain that you lose reality. I know people, like I have one medium friend, she literally falls. I got to carry her downstairs, or she'll fall down. She can't walk downstairs after she does mediumship. She'll fall. She'll literally right down the stairs, because she can't focus on her own footsteps. I got lost going down a straight road. Yes, kind of on a spiritual natural high. So yeah, so understand, Julie, you can connect. You just got to learn the differences and the feel of it. It's a your mediumship, or your ability to connect, should be as easy as breathing. And I've learned that. It took me a long time. Now, I've been doing this a long time. I've been studying the mediumship side of this since 1988. Really got heavily into it around 2010 when I started doing it more professional. No. No. Now, I am protective, Kayla. I'm not really, no. I've seen I've seen some wild stuff, but nothing that's ever scared me. Now, I do avoid stuff. I don't open myself up to craziness. Like, there is a client that I have right now who I have to avoid because of my health, because she has something attached, and because of my health, I can't. I have referred her and the family to some people in some places, as a referral. I'm not afraid of it. But because of my health, I can't. I mean, I've had a stroke, I've had a heart attack. I'm fine now, but because of my age, my health, it's just not worth me. And because of my spirit, it's not worth me putting myself at risk. So I'm able to give her, I was able to give her references on where to take care of her attachment. So that's, there are those, which is heavy negative energy, but I'm not afraid of it. I just don't go near it, you know? So, that's how you handle that. I mean, negative attracts negative, positive attracts positive. Okay. So you don't put yourself in those areas. And you have to remember that let me give you the best lesson I was ever taught from any teacher ever. And this is might make some people upset, because I've been with some phenomenal teachers. I've been with some phenomenal tutors all over the world, and I cherish. There's a piece of each and every one of them that I cherish, and most of them have died. A lot of them have died. But the one piece of advice that I got that I think has stuck with me the most, and that I've used the most, that has stuck with me the most, that I give this advice to every student or every person that gets involved in this, came from an old Wiccan priestess. And it's something that she told me. And it was, Sid, always remember this. No matter what you do, keep your Bible in one hand and your loaf of bread in the other. She says, never get out of balance. She said, when you do, that's when life gets hard. And I think that is what's kept me sane all of my life. And she was one of the first tutors I ever studied with. And she's deceased now. But that's something that she taught me from day one. So always remember, keep your loaf of bread in one hand and your Bible in the other. She said, never let one outweigh the other. So let it always bring your senses right back down to the neutral ground. She says, never, 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 never let them get out of balance. And she said, you will always be okay. It was the best advice I've ever heard from a tutor. The best advice I ever heard. And so I say that to you too in life. Keep your morals and your Bible in one hand, but keep your loaf of bread in the other, because you got to keep a balance with them. Don't judge others. Don't do you. Don't hurt nobody else. Always take care of you. Make sure you are good. You make sure you are well provided for first, and then you can help others. So keep that balance, because you're not going to do anybody good if you're down. If you get too far up, you're not going to help anybody, and you're just going to hurt yourself. So always keep your loaf of bread in one hand and your Bible in the other. Keep that balance. All right, folks. With that, I'm going to say I love you. Good night. Don't forget, Touching Eternity, June 4th to June 8th in Orlando, 2025. Follow me on my website, sid-patrick.com. That's where all my classes and events are posted. I am going to be changing my email soon. Look for that. Good night. Mwah. I love you all. I will see you later. Bye.